I'm your host, 23, and you're joining me for Titanic, Episode 11. Zetta just swept away, leaving me on the promenade with a shocking revelation of her secret first marriage. Just the sort of scandal James needs to end her engagement. Zetta knows what James is planning, and she put her fate in my hands. Why? Whether I keep Zetta's trust or give James what he wants, I see no way to guarantee my safety or my sister's. The Titanic may be unsinkable, but my path across the ocean is far from certain. I leave the promenade bound for my cabin. As I reach the door, Lina whips it open, practically dancing with excitement. It's tonight! It's tonight! It's tonight! She's almost singing. I crack a smile. I've decided I'm attending Zetta's birthday, vicariously through you. Wouldn't someone else be more exciting? Nonsense! I've been dying to ask about the party all day. I didn't see you at lunch. Saving room for all the canapes. Zetta loves them. I read that in the ladies' journal. Anyway, you have treats of a different kind. Deliveries all morning. Oh, show me. Something for the party. On the mood to show me. For me. Can't remember the last time I had presents. He leads me to the bed, where a few small wrapped packages sit. I unwrap them delicately, trying not to tear the brown paper, an old habit from leaner times. First, there is a dress. Plain, but elegant, with a note from James instructing me to wear it tonight. I was expecting something fancier, but this will do. Oh, fresh flowers, that's better. The next box contains a trio of sweet-smelling flowers, peppered with baby's breath, and tied with a silk ribbon. The note is written in wide, steady capitals. You will always have a friend in me. The signature is Charlie's. The last box is square and flat. Inside, glowing like moons against the red silk interior, a beautiful pearl necklace. Lina gasps, but there is no note. But none is needed. The silver clasp is engraved with 2 letters. ZS. Look at you, the belle of the ball. Even I don't have that many tokens before a party. Is this what adoration feels like? It's rather overwhelming, isn't it? To be the object of so much interest. It's always the people who don't want attention who seem to get the most of it. Sure, I wish I could borrow your luck. The sudden knock at the door. Let me guess, Matteo. I called it. Lina leaps up to open it, and there stands Matteo. Oh, hello. What can we do for you? I drop the gifts I was holding onto the bed, unsure why I'm suddenly embarrassed, but Lina leans invitingly on the doorframe, suddenly intrigued. Forgive me, my name is Matteo Vasari. I'm a colleague of Adele's. Lina Morteg, friend and professional model, charmed. As Matteo steps inside, Lina glances over at me, pretending to fan herself. His tone, when he speaks next, is aloof, but his hazel eyes suggest something surprisingly genuine. I'm sure you're overwhelmed with the tasks already, but if you have a moment, please come in. Make yourself comfortable. We were just chatting. And what might fine gentlemen like yourself be seeking in our quarters? That's Lina, who is clearly striving to be normal and failing. There's a slight mix-up with the menu for the party. I was hoping you could run through the particulars for me. I just barely remember the particulars, but I'll do my best. He draws a small notepad, and we hurry down a list of courses, while Lina slips away on an errand of her own. The mix-up is so slight, an extra dessert, that I begin to wonder why Matteo sought me out at all. Shoulders tense slightly as he catches my curious looks and he blurts, I admit there is another matter. Not related to sweets. He smiles, but he seems to be embarrassed. Matteo, one of the smoothest men I've ever encountered, is stumbling. I'd rather hope to broach a personal matter with you. Tell me, please. Whatever you have to say, I'll hear you out, but you do need to say it. Yes, well, words aren't ordinarily a challenge for me. Our relationship has been rather, complicated, shall we say. At the very least. Certainly, At times, downright adversarial. He smiles to himself. I remember his arrogance as he stood in the same place just days ago, assuring me that the compliance was my only option. How do you look back on our exchanges, Adele? Our exchanges have been a mess. We haven't exactly made each other's lives easier, have we? No. I have been down, never been drawn to the easy path. Drawn to? His eyes are on mine, steady and under his long, dark lashes. I pride myself on my judgment, but it failed me entirely when I met you. I didn't see you, the truth of you, at all. Oh, I was attracted, of course, but... His eyes flicker over my body. I had no idea. I must have been a fool not to see it at once. You are utterly extraordinary. I smile a little, rather unbalanced, but he does not smile back, too intent on his words. I want you. But we're still, my dear. I care for you. I'm a cynic, but I must hope that my desires are returned. Takes my hand and lifts it to his lips. Hide any emotions. Whether I return Matteo's feelings or not, I can't be vulnerable, not here, not now. Is he sincere? And is my heart beating out of fear? Or because I want the same things? Listen, Matteo, don't say anything, not now. Let me live and hope for tonight. You have many decisions to make about Zetta, James. All I ask is that you think of me when you think of the future. He pulls a small golden something out of his pocket and presses it into my hand. A stunning brooch, shaped like two birds, their eyes beads of jade. I bought this in Rome years ago, but I think it has always belonged to you. Wear it tonight, if you like. Thank you. I'll think about what you said. I promise. Matteo and I exchange one last look, and he exits, closing the door gently behind him. I place his brooch on the bed next to the other gifts and sit, taking in what just happened. It is as if Matteo were a coiled spring that suddenly had been released. As the minutes pass, I let my breathing slow and wonder what force just blasted through my little room. Sometime later, Lina returns, eyes bright with good news, and hiding something behind her back. You'll never guess what I got for you. A hat. What? You're going to squeal. You remember Lady Duff Gordon, the designer I posed for? She's willing to lend you one of her masterpieces for Zetta's party. I have it here with me. I run my fingers over the fabric and imagine it dipping from my shoulders, falling from my waist in a way I've never worn anything before. Can you believe it? A work of art, never before worn by a famous designer. What do you say? It's very interesting. Kind of Egyptian looking. Yes, I must have this dress. It's really impossible to resist Lina's eager smile, but I choose my will look wisely, especially tonight. They try and make her look happier in the diamond dress, and while it's not bad, it's just interesting and unique. I like the color, but then they kind of make her look frowning in the regular dress. I'll stick with what James sent. I couldn't wear all the finery. I wouldn't feel like myself. Oh, of course. I just thought... When Matteo started in about the food, I thought about the guests, and well, I just wanted you comfortable. You're so kind to offer, Lina, really. Thank you, but I'll wear the dress James has sent me. Well, let's get you into it then. After I change, Lina touches up my face with a bit of her powder and rouge, puts my hair in place. You look perfectly lovely. You are too kind, Lina, but I suppose I do look all right, don't I? She smirks at my understatement and turns to the gifts I've received, laid out on the bed. All right, when the final piece, which are you wearing? The corsage from Charlie. Matteo's golden brooch, the pearl necklace from Zetta. No one's. So you have to choose a love interest here. I think the pink corsage goes well with the pink outfit we're wearing. Golden brooch isn't bad. And the pearl necklace is not bad. This is... We're down to it, aren't we? We're down to it. Okay. Charlie. I can pick up the little trio of delicate flowers, and Lina finds a spot above my heart on which to pin it. I picture Charlie's quiet grin if he sees me wearing it, and I feel my face flush with pleasure. Lina holds my shoulders and examines me from head to toe, and then she steps back and holds open her arms. Absolutely ravishing. If you were in my profession, I'd have you murdered out of sheer jealousy. Lina. I'm joking. You're a vision. Now, go have the best of time. When I'm down the hall, I hear Lina call, "Tell Zeta happy birthday from my biggest fan." I walk to Cafe Parisian alone, pausing to admire the sunset from the deck. As the sky takes on a golden glow, I think of everyone and everything I'm about to face. Tonight will be a final battle of silent war between Zetta and James. A fight in which I somehow find myself pushed into the front lines, invested and at risk. I think of Matteo opening his heart, possibly too late. Charlie demoted because of me, and Helene, who has been embraced a family of strangers. Calm and confident. I lift my skirts and walk, trying to erase my doubts with every footstep. I must clear my head to stay focused amid all the gossip and extravagance, because James lies in wait at the center, like a snake in its nest. Inside the Café Parisian, waiters weave through the mingling gas. The quintet is tuning under a white trellis sprayed with the ivy. Ladies in fur drape themselves across the wicker chairs, sipping liquids that glint in the lamplight like stained glass. Sabine spots me from a place near a table lined with bottles and hurries over. She appears somehow both extremely stressed and ecstatically happy. It's gorgeous, no? I think everything is going well so far. Small problem with the liquors, but all in all... You're fine. Breathe. I'm sure you're doing wonderfully, Sabine. Take deep breaths and all of it will be well. I smile at her, trying not to be too amused by her frantic manner. She takes a deep breath. Yes, all is well now, but we have the rest of the night to consider. As she walks away, I see her restrain herself from when someone accidentally tips over a vase of flowers. I move from the entryway into the crowd, milling among the tables set for formal dinner. Zetta is radiant in a circle of admirers. I recognize the Baron, scanning the room like an amiable shark's, and Lawrence laughing at one of Zeta's jokes. A few of the edges stare at the grandeur of it all with nervous smiles, perhaps wondering if they should be here at all. Among them, I see James holding a small glass of brown liquor, his posture stiff, Matteo at his side. Matteo notices me and inclines his head, the hint of a smile on his lips. I hear my name called from Zetta's circle. I wave, and Zetta excuses herself, making her way toward me through the crowd. Ah, Adele, you made it! Her eyes dart towards my bare neck and quickly away across the crowd. Thank you for my party. It's divine. Oh, she looked really, really bitter and pissed right there. All Sabine's doing. Don't thank me, thank Sabine, wherever she's fluttered off to. Sabine is a hard worker, but hard work is nothing without a bit of creative spark. Remember that. Zetta winks and hands me a cold glass of champagne. For a moment, I let the weight of James's deadline fall away and enjoy the sound of the waltz. Soon, the bell sounds for dinner. We make our way to our tables. My stomach drops. James has jockeyed into a seat next to me. He keeps his eyes forward, wearing a smug look. Sabine taps lightly on a glass with a fork, and we all turn to the ting-ting of silver on the crystal that is standing. Welcome, old friends and new. I'd like to make a little toast. Now, Lawrence, don't groan. Thank you all for being here with me to celebrate my 20th birthday. He's 20? Soft laughter rings among the table. That's a joke, of course. You'll never know how old I really am. Let's lift our glasses, first to my staff, whom with this night would not be possible. I feel Zetta's eyes on me. They planned this in a matter of days, a testament to the incredible things that can happen in such a short time. I raise my eyes to Zetta's, warmth spreading to every part of me. If you're with the right person, that is. Her mask never alters. If there's a spark in her gaze I can't mistake. I'm sad my Richard can't be here, but that only makes our reunion in New York that much sweeter. I'm so happy all of you could come in his stead to celebrate this next phase of my life, my love, my work. To you. We raise our glasses, repeating Zetta's refrain. Zetta beams and drains her champagne and dabs her eyes with a kerchief. As the waiters place spoonfuls of caviar in front of each guest, signaling the courses have begun, James leads my way, muttering, I hope you enjoy this. Unless you've got something for me, it'll be one of your last meals outside of prison. Smile and eat your dinner. You can threaten me all you want, but that doesn't bring you any closer to taking Zeta down. Play nice. This is my world. I don't need a former inmate instructing me how to behave. Before James can finish, a monocled man calls to him about horse racing across the table. The conversation is long-winded and involved. I breathe a sigh of relief. The caviar is replaced by freshly suckled oysters garnished with slices of imported lemon, followed by butter-seared salmon in a Welsh dill sauce. Salmon. I scan the cafe for Sabine when I catch her eye. We share a smile. All is perfectly seasoned and paced according to our plan. Talk of finance, theater, prize greyhounds, and every other concern of the rich and famous swirls around me. Watch for trouble. As I nod, I smile along. I keep my ears pricked for any mention of my name. At the head of the table, Zetta appears to be enjoying herself. Her cheeks grow rosy from the drinks, and I hear her exclaim with pleasure at each new course. Clam and lobster, boulabisky with fresh-baked baguettes to sop up the broth, marbled pork with sautéed asparagus. After ice cream with dates and pistachios, the men stand searching their coat pockets for cigars while the women drift to find chairs next to one another. The Baron takes James up in a conversation, leaving me to slip out of my seat and into a corner, pretending to examine the windows while I search the room. I watch Zetta as she floats among the groups of ladies holding court, and every so often I catch her looking in my direction. Matteo stands near James. He catches my gaze and holds it to his eyes, knowing. Out of the corner of my eye, I see a white star-line uniform through the cafe windows. It's Charlie, escorting an elderly gentleman across the deck. Somehow I'm unsurprised. I'm gonna accompany Zeta. It is her party, after all. I approach the far end of the long tables where Zeta is telling a story about a trip to Paris. When she notices me, she stops mid-story to stand and wrap me in a fully embrace. It is a wonderful party, isn't it? You look incredible. I jump out, James. I don't mean to interrupt. Anything you need? You look incredible. You're the shining star of it all. I couldn't have done it without you. In fact, I've been singing your praises all night. I insist you meet all of my interesting friends and foolish acquaintances. That wraps her bejeweled arm with my own, and we float to various groups of well-dressed people like bees in a meadow. There are directors, a few actors, the socialites, the moguls, to each that announces my presence like royalty. This is Adele Karim of London. I can't help feeling a thrill. Me, on Zetta's arm, her hand playing on the small of my back as she talks, as if we belong together. The two of us against the world. But when her friends ask me questions, I hesitate, trying to balance the way Zetta is treating me tonight with my own actual place in her world and her life in her world. Behave like a party guest, act like Zetta's closest friend, stay professional, as a secretary should. I mean, this one's tough. Stay professional, as a secretary should. Act like Zetta's closest friend. I don't see... This one's a tough one, but at the same time, I feel like I hope this doesn't go down the wrong side. Closest friend. I decide that this is my only chance to be close to Zetta's, I feel. I talk our time on the ship together and poke fun at Zetta's endearing habits, as if I've known her for years. You're familiar with... She'll remember that. Zetta looks luminous. She likes the suggestion of deep loyalty under my words, and I bask in her approval. When we've made her the round, she pulls me out into the open air, to the far end of the deck, towards the end of the rows of chairs, and it's quiet. We are silent. And then... I needed this. The quiet? Yes, and tonight in general. This party, the food, the wine, it's been perfect. I'm so glad to hear it. And on top of it all, it's my birthday. I find myself giggling a little at her tipsy proclamation. What? She leans in close enough that her arm is touching mine, and we look at each other. Do you have a present for me? You don't pay me enough. This is how I look at it, okay? This was early 1900s, as I believe. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's very early in the morning, and my brain's halfway. This is how I look at this relationship, in case anyone's curious, real quick. I'm into Charlie, don't get me wrong. He is a fabulous individual. She is going to be married to Richard, right? She's doing it, and she's putting on her own facade. While I like Charlie, I also feel for Zeta. I don't really feel for Matteo, no offense, but it's just been one of those really rough relationships, and I'm not into him. So I feel like this would be our secret love, because back then you have to keep in mind that girls with other girls, men with other men, it was something that was very taboo, and something was not okay, and it wasn't something that was accepted into open life. So, yeah, like, that's what I look at this relationship as with her. Like, it's in secret, and it will probably always remain in secret. I've moved my face closer to hers, and she reciprocates, a little smile on her lips. Our mouths meet, sweet and light. Once, twice, and we both hesitate. The sounds of the party are distant. We kiss again, longer this time, and I touch my hand to her cool cheek. Then we part, breathing steady. Zeta sighs. I've been waiting to do that all night. If I'm being honest, I don't even want to reach shore. I don't want to go back to the party. I just want to stay out here with you forever. Can't we stay like this? I know. I wish the moment didn't have to end. Let's just make a tent of this blanket. We can live off seal meat and rainwater. We laugh. What about your acting career? We'll make our own plays. What do you say? I take her face in both hands and bring her towards me for one last, slow, deep kiss. In it, I put my affection, my sorrow, and all I can't say, all we can't do. Zetta returns in kind, and afterwards we return to the cafe. Ah. Cost diamonds for whatever you didn't choose. Ah, clever. Clever. Done right. As Sabine and I plan, the waiters pick up the tables, moving them towards the wall to clear space. The musicians move from the corner to the center by the far wall where they can be best heard. As the guests begin to notice the change, conversations come to a trickle and then a halt. The crowd oohs and ahs, and I see people hurrying to finish their drinks. The musicians play a few chords, partners are selected, and as the quintet strikes up a waltz, the dancing begins. I hum along until a shadow falls across my vision. James. My blood turns to ice. There's no more avoiding the deadline. The time has come. He holds out his hand, his eyes glinting. Shall we? No, we shall not. Get away from me. Without further ado, thank you all for tuning in. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And in the description below, links to social media, Discord, and a few links to support me and my content. And without further ado, you should really hit that bell icon. It's a great way to receive notifications of when I upload content, and as well as consider hitting the join button. It's a great way to join the channel and become one of Locum's Locos, and a great way of supporting the channel. Thanks for watching. Catch you all in the next video. Peace.